Oh my gosh. I tried Streamlabs and I didn't like it. Didn't like it. We got MC. Oh, I'm sorry. Sketchy Gimme with Carrie Hiya. And then we got HRH 008 says what's going on. I figured I'd go live for a little bit while my pain level is manageable at the moment. But I do got a killer headache. This heat, I'm out here on the back porch. And this is my sidekick for a little bit until he decides to go in. That's my son Logan.
Hi.
Uh-oh. What happened? Okay. Now you can say hi.
I am C.
And HRH 008. What's going on? Said yikes. Doesn't sound good. The audio. I'm roboting. Okay. What about now? What is going on? I hit show. Oh, I may need to. I may need to restart the computer because I downloaded Streamlabs. Oh, I'm good. Okay. Desmond comes in and said, had to stop by and say, hi, Mr. Carey. Stop thinking about the shirt buttons so hard and your headache would go away. Yeah, we got an inside joke on another part of YouTube where there's a guy that does mixing and looping stuff. And I start buttons where, show a little chest, but I'm kidding. I'm a straight man. I'm married. I have children. I mean, we don't shame anybody right now.
Shame on you, Dad.
Sketchy Gimme says it is better now. All right. And HRH 008 says you're good. Thank you. Fix my eyebrows a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it is like 90 degrees here in Pulaski County. Not going to dox what state I'm in. Y'all can't figure that one out. Desmond says, have a good afternoon, Mr. Carey and son. Yeah, his name is actually Carey too, but he don't like the first name we gave him, so he likes to go by Logan. Double HR. HRH 88 says it is good to have some fun. Is to it. Yeah, you can see.
Yeah.
I was talking to them. Yeah, this internet was roboting yesterday. I'll shut this off for a minute. Just in case somebody comes out, my daughter or my son. If they want to be on camera, that's up to them. But yeah, it's a hot day today. Man. Yeah. I can't believe I gave like a 40-minute update on a video back 23rd, 24th, 25th. Yeah, my daughter just come out. And it vanished. So I had to do a live, I think, last night or the night. Yeah, the night before, but it was past midnight. And gave an update on everything. Yeah, always protect your privacy. Yeah. That's something you got to do, especially on different parts of YouTube.
And we were finally able to get a rental car.
They already know that we had to get a rental car, but from where you draw. And yeah, we only have it till Thursday and we have nothing else. And then we got to pay the apps that we've had to borrow off of. And still, we're going to be like if my wife's right, I think enough to at least catch up with the landlord, and then electric bill. Oh my god, it's like 340, and we already got help with one place, and you're only allowed to do that every 6 months. So yeah, just a lot going on there. People ask, "Hey, how you doing?" I'm like, "Not good." Just try to be distractive and stuff, because yeah, yeah. HRH 008 says, "I always have you and your family in my prayers."
Thank you.
The son said, "Thank you," and I say thank you too, and my family says thank you. All right, now just drinking on coffee. Yeah, I mean, can't help it, but I mean, the free version of StreamYards. I mean, eh, it's more easier to do than Streamlabs, and then YouTube. You can't even blank your camera out if you need to. Yeah, I watched Coded, and some of y'all that know Coded watched some of him today.
I know Restream offers you a six gas on the
This
free version.
offers 6 guest free version here.
Oh wow.
HRH 008 says, "Unfortunately, our dollar has gone down again." Yeah. And that's another thing about StreamYard. You can't pin your comment.
Onto
HRH 008 says that StreamYard is better than Restream. Yeah, I ain't even tried Restream. I went live once, and I hate it because YouTube on the don't tap on that in case GS comes on here. He can't stand background noise. But anyway, um, the butterflies are really beautiful because I just lost track of what I was saying. What was I talking about?
the different streaming.
I just said I never. Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. That's good to have a sidekick. But yeah, it's just you can't do your camera, but you can add moderators on it, but not Streamlabs and not StreamYards. But yeah, I'm gonna have to uninstall that uh, Streamlabs app off this my wife's laptop. This thing's pretty 3 or 4 years old.
Is it the Streamlabs Studio Talk?
No, it just says Streamlabs desktop. And then, yeah, that same night or morning or whatever, Beachy, he's on another part of YouTube, and he has a song. It's 570. It was pretty fun. That dude, they call him a bunch. He was talking about they call him a bunch of names and stuff, and he seemed like a really cool dude. And he's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Already been live a few times streaming my other meteorologists.
Yeah, my son likes to stream on his channel
with their permission, of course.
With their permission to do like with the meteorologist and stuff, because he feels like he's trying to help people when tornadoes warnings are happening, and likes to tell them go take shelter. HRH 008 says it all depends on what you want to use the streaming apps for. Yeah. I like to try to use them for good and then share our situation, and anybody wants to help, I always throw that out there, but I do it on my channels. I don't like asking anybody on theirs. If they offer, sometimes I still won't do it or reach out to them because I feel like they might throw it in my face, and our family's legitimately struggling. And like GS did, also known as Todd, like, you know, he offered to help, which find out later on, like kill Lamilla, and Boot was like, "Come on, man, come on," Finally got him to do it, and I'm appreciative of it, and I had always said I was appreciative of it. HRH008 says, "Does he want to be a meteorologist?"
Yeah.
He would like to be, but let's see. He's limited on what he can do with because of his autism and stuff. He tried to work a job back in Florida and stuff, and they asked you how your day went.
Yeah, and I was bluntly honest.
He's, but didn't need to go. He didn't really need to go, bluntly honest, but he had trouble with, you know,
Social skills back then.
social skills, and because he bluntly honest, like he had a problem there for a while, and we've took him to doctors and stuff about, with urinating on yourself, and he had what on the bus or something.
It
He
was
had
at
to,
school.
at school. I mean, it somehow fixed itself, and we're glad. This is 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, and he told me, I urinated on myself, and he lost his job. He didn't steal nothing, done what he's told to do, all because he said that. And that business there is in a part of the a neighborhood where people are like uh, whatever, the mid income, almost a higher income area, where they're like, "Excuse me, your shoes are dirty." That kind of attitude. That's crazy. People have like the kind of just throw their nose up at you. That's the best way I can put it. HRH008 says there are so many people struggling these days. It makes me sad that our countries now have so many struggles. It is, and the worst part of it is part of the healthcare, and then people that's worked and wasn't a couch potato or nothing like that, and you would think they would, you would get the help that you need, but you don't. And then when you get injured in workers' comp, or if you get injured in a car accident, they try to screw you over, knowing that you need the money, so you can't hold out till they give you your full amount, because you're going to lose your place to live or your vehicle.
I'm gonna go to my room now.
Oh, you're going to go to your room?
Yeah.
My
See
son's
ya.
going to go on to his room,
And I will.
and he
Post
says,
my channel.
"Well, you can say it louder."
And I will post my channel in the chat. Getting choked up, cheese it dust.
And cheese it dust.
Uh,
HRH008, do you get some disability medical? Yeah, he gets medical. I get medical, but that's all we get. But we got to pay co-pays. Like my pain management doctor's 25. If I go to the ER, that's $215. In Florida, I mean, we had no choice. We had to come back to Kentucky, but in Florida, I didn't have no co-pays or nothing, and I was in the middle of trying to get my neck fixed because I got a neck injury, and I'm numb on my whole right arm, but I'm dealing with it because my back's the worst from my injury that I'm dealing with from 1999. But we don't qualify for any kind of like help with food assistance, so that's one of the things getting us is trying to feed our family. And in here you don't get 2 or 3 food boxes; you only get one a month. And if another place finds out you lied and you lied to get more food, they they punish you for that. That's what happens when you're being honest. That's what I don't understand. There's people will lie and get food stamps saying that they're living with some, they're not living with a certain person or whatever, and stuff like that. And there'll be like a family of 3 that'll get like $500 or $600. We got a family of 5 and getting $0. And if I was to be by myself, I only get $1,153 a month. I couldn't live on that just by myself. I wouldn't. I mean, I want to be with my family. I don't want a divorce or nothing, but I'm saying If I was to live on my own, I'd be up a creek without a paddle, which I'd probably end up going in and with my back and stuff, and this pain management garbage. I'd probably be admitted, put in one of these facilities. So the only thing that's keeping me from one of them, like nursing, whatever, they watch like elderly people. I don't know. I don't even want to find out. But I used to get when my workers comp at the time was getting home health during my time fighting with workers comp. How do you not qualify when you have a family and single people get help? Yeah, they told the last place that we end up leaving is $1,200 a month, and they told my wife, and it was always believed over the years, and trying to keep a roof over her head, it was $1,200 a month, and we didn't know it was going to end up there was hosing the duct worked or anything like that, and that's the place that landed us two electric bills, like a total of over $1,000 combined, and only got help with one of them with that. But yeah, they told my wife when she went to do her paperwork, they said, "Oh, you're paying too much for rent. You still get medical, but you don't qualify for EBT." We haven't qualified for EBT for probably 2, 3, 4 years. Right before we didn't qualify for it, in however they do the garbage, um, we only got up to $90, and that was when we was in Florida. $90 a month. Now we don't even we haven't been getting that for probably, like I said, 2, 3 years. My son put his channel up. If y'all want to sub to him, do you not have a program like low income housing? They have some, but the thing of it is, we tried that in Florida to try to stay down there. Couldn't get any emergency help. And here they got what they call a Michelle P. waiver. My son was on the Michelle P. waiver that helps people with autism. It helps with, other adults or whatever he can stay with. They pay to watch him. It comes out of the state. And somehow, and it's a 10-year waiting list. And so somehow his name is not in there. We just found out, I think, about a month or so ago. So his counselor or ex counselor's looking into it. We haven't heard nothing about it. Um, the housing thing, they got a big weight on it. I don't even know how many years because my wife deals with that. And a lot of places, a lot of these renters don't take Section 8 housing. So basically, we just trying to keep a roof over our head at this point. But yeah, if we'd known about having, I mean, we wanted to move hoping they had better stuff for our oldest son with his autism and stuff like that. Thought Florida would do a lot better, but it wasn't. And didn't know that landlords there were slum lords. I didn't even know that term till we was living down in Florida. Here we have a program for low income housing, and if they're out of housing, they give out rental supplements. Do you have that or looked into it? Yeah, my wife would have to look into that because I've never heard of what they call the out rentals supplements. So she'll have to look into that one. But yeah, we weren't struggling as bad. Past 3 landlords ago, we were struggling a little bit, but these two moves and what little we make a month combined together, it's all when we had to loan against the vehicle, uh, those apps on the phone, trying to feed her family, get gas, and then my wife she's under pain management too. She was uh, ended up disabled in the car accident back in 2019 where an 18-year-old pulled out in front of me. It took her 2 years. She had to get another attorney. The second attorney was a really good attorney. She was real nice and everything. She even took off some of her that attorney took off some of her bill or whatever, because my daughter had like a birthday coming up, and she volunteered, like, you know what, we'll take this much out so your daughter can have a birthday. I think it was like her 10th birthday or something, ninth or 10th birthday, and she was really nice. And I think that's the same attorney that took on the car accident case, because mine was Morgan and Morgan, and she told my wife she could have got me more on that accident, but Morgan and Morgan only got me like 11,000 for that accident because I was a pain pump implant patient that the other insurance could throw up. I had a prior or existing pre-existing injury, but the thing of it is, I never had a neck injury. But yeah, I didn't. I mean, Morgan and Morgan has their commercials where you're like, "Oh, we fight for people," blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's the spot that we're in at the moment. But we don't have friends that I mean, they got lives too, but we don't have friends that that you can just jump and ask to get a ride. Or I mean, we 99% of the time we done the same for other people and stuff. And even before I was married, and even before I become disabled and stuff, do our best, bend over backwards and try to help people because we know what it's like. Yeah, having a disability is hard enough, let alone the struggles that go along with it. Yeah. But see, I tried when I first I got injured in September 17, 99, and I didn't. Pain medication was the last resort, so I think I did a pretty good job. From 1999 until it was April 2003 that pain medication was the last resort that was offered. So I tried everything that I could that was offered, and my pain would return. Pain relief, things ended up failing. And then when I got my pain pump and they adjusted it, I tried doing onion rings for a Sonic. Started out that way, and my doctor's like, "This is to help you try to, manage your, get, manage your pain, not go to work and all that." And I didn't listen to him. I mean, it's too late now, but I should have. But I just never was a couch potato. But yeah, I tried working, and then I'd ask him to up my medication and my pain pump, and I'd clean like the parking lot. I was like, wow, this is cool because I never been injured before and thought this was something simple that it would heal up, but it's nothing nowhere near it. It'll never heal up. And then running into dead ends with neurosurgeons. Oh, we don't want to really do anything. We we know you're in a lot of pain, but we just don't. We're afraid we'll screw up something during the surgery. If you make me paralyzed from the waist down, I'll be happy. For real. Yeah. Um, Pain pump implants. The last time I understood, back in uh, it was August 2022. I had my fourth pain pump implant. That's like $30,000 plus, and that's not with insurance. Because yeah, during my first pain pump, I apparently had worked over more hours or whatever, and there was times I was down, and the longest I was like 3 weeks, and then the pain relief started coming back again, and then I tried to do more, and then I just had to quit because the pain was coming back so much that nobody's going to hire you and work around your pain schedule. And I ended up paying $4,000 back to Social Security, and I asked them to take out 100 a month, and that was back in 2008. Then I tried to do like 2012 or something like that, or 2011. I tried to do like drumming. As long as somebody carried the drums or something, I tried to do drumming because I figured, well, that would work. Well, that only worked for so long. And then December 2022, when that pain doctor had adjusted my medication, this is in Florida, the combination that he gave me with my pain pump, I mean, it was like I almost wanted to cry. I was out of pain, and you'd go to sleep, wouldn't be in pain, wake up, wouldn't be in pain, and then started having setbacks because the more that I moved, I at least got to drum for my kids one more. My kids got to see me drum one more time. It didn't last very long. It was like December, and then January 2023, February, March, April, and then middle of May was the last time. And then, there was times that I had down times and hurting in pain and stuff. And dark side, Todd Bryant. Hey, man, I really appreciate you stopping in over here. It's really good to see you. You make me laugh, though. I think you're pretty cool. So pain meds didn't work. Here you go, or here you can go in morphine. That's helped many. They tried morphine on me back in before my first pain pump. They tried it during my trial period before they implanted the pump, and then they went ahead and put Dilaudid in it. And I've been on Dilaudid in my pain pump until September of 2023 is when it was changed without notice. I thought I was going to be able to have a discussion with the doctor, but no, he's like, all right, we're putting the I'm not monetized or anything, so I think I can say it. I said off and on fentanyl. I'm not a doctor or anything like that, just my experience. I want to make that clear. Nobody know I'm not a doctor whatsoever. I'm just a pain pump implant patient. And he would add this numbing stuff. Hey, Dr. Feel Good Apocalypse. Good to see you too. And it's like a numbing stuff. It's called Bificaine. You could probably look it up. I think it's BUPI or BUI, and it's like cane. The computer, the search engine should pick it up. And I under somebody said that ketamine helped, and I asked my pain doctor. He's like doesn't cover it, but it can be delivered it's through liquid or in the pump. You got work today? Oh, good work today. I thought you said good work today. I was like, man, I really wished I could do it. I'll give you a break at your job if I could. Oh, you get it. Oh, Dr. Phil said dark side. Okay, good work today. I got a little glare from the side. I'm in Fort HQ. I'm just sitting right here. The lighting's right here. My son just went in. Hey, Warren, thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate it. I'm not really trying to bore nobody. Just kind of sharing what's going on, and then I don't know how long I'll be on for, and then some chit chat. And I appreciate you stopping in. Yes, I've heard it works well. Yeah, that made me so disappointed. But yeah, from what I understand, if it comes out of my pocket, which I don't have any money, he could give me ketamine in my pain pump, but I have to rely on my insurance. There's so many restrictions for people with chronic pain. My doctor even said, my pain is like somebody with cancer pain, but the difference is I'm not a cancer patient. Because with cancer patients in pain, they have more room to work where the insurance covers it, unlike somebody with chronic pain. But I've been dropped down to like 177 pounds because it affects your appetite. Which the wheelchair dad, he's got somebody that records him showing him being in pain and stuff. I just don't want to say holler at my kids, hey, get this, I'm in a lot of pain, so people can see. It's just that one time when I was in the back of the van going to the doctor, I thought, if I can get situated just enough to get my phone to record, I can record, where people can see, hey, this is how I'm having to lay, and and being real about it, you know, because there's people that's in pain that's not getting help that can't speak up. All they have is their family members, and when they're done passed away, it's too late to help them for people that don't get the opportunity. Because I'm telling you, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my family and stuff. I'd wither away. Thank you, Dove. You can put yours up too. I, I think you have a water situation or something like that, I believe. HRH saying hi to people in the chat. There's Nona. Yeah, it does really suck. Oh, I thought you was Norma Raymond. Well, thank you. Nice to meet you and coming in. I appreciate it. I try not to be boring. I really don't. I know I talk a lot about my situation and stuff, but I try to do it on just my channel, and then I do chit chat about other stuff, and try to give information best that I can without giving out my social security number and stuff, and because there's so many weird people and so many people that take advantage of like there was this girl I apparently on YouTube I come across by accident on my stinking feed, and she was like a super skinny girl, and apparently it's some kind of fetish or something. That's according to the internet, but she hasn't been on for a year. I don't know her name. I'm not going to judge her, but you know, if I can share my experience and like where my pain level is manageable at the moment, yeah, I like to come on here and chat with people and try to share stuff. Does my insurance cover vitamins? Uh, I'm on right now, excluding pain medication. I'm on metoprolol, which is for the heart. I take a half of that. Um, I take vitamin D because I apparently got low vitamin D or something like that. Fenofibrate. I think it's for cholesterol. And and I and they're going to adjust my diabetes medicine because my sugar's running over 200, even fasting. So I'm on metformin on that. I did try Jardiance, but I thought the Jardiance was giving me a symptom that they didn't list was unwanted erections, not being gross. It's medical because I was complaining about, I thought the burning from all that was from the Jardiance, but looking back, I know it wasn't. It's something to do, and I looked it up myself because my pain doctor apparently doesn't understand. I didn't know it. Apparently, there's a nerve that causes you to have unwanted. I mean, I'm not being silly or nothing like that. Unwanted, erections. You're not thinking of nothing inappropriate. It just happens, and you're like, oh my gosh. And usually that happens when the pain starts coming up. And I've been telling my doctor, man, this is happening. I even tell him, I said, I'm not being nasty. I'm not being dirty because, you know, nurses and doctors are not supposed to laugh at you, over, you know, talking about serious stuff like that. But they put me back on metformin, but I think they're going to change it because I've been taking two of them. I think they're like 500 milligrams or something. That's the only thing of vitamins that I know of, and then famotidine, and then generic Nexium for the acid reflux. Did you try any antidepressants or anti-seizure medications for chronic pain? They can also make you gain weight. No, the only thing that he's got me on right now is oxycodone, 20 milligram, 3 times a day, which is every 8 hours. I'm on Lyrica. I was on gabapentin, so the burning is nothing to do with diabetes, which, from what I understand, is good. So my pain doctor, thinks Lyrica will help it. And it's 100 milligrams is what I'm taking, and I do take my stuff like I'm supposed to. There's one last month I did miscount and ended up shorting myself a whole day. I don't know how I miscounted. I was keeping track on my phone when I'm posted my time to take it again. So my wife tries to help me with that now because it's been a rough several months. I mean, as far as trying to keep track of things and stuff. I mean, the pain part's been going on off and on for a while. It's ridiculous. But no, I've never been on an antidepressant or anti seizure medication that I'm aware of. I'm sorry I'm behind in the chat. And that's Doves if y'all want to help them out. Yeah, we need gas money to haul in water. Yeah, that's what it is for the water. Oh, oh, I get it. I get it. I'm sitting there going in the detail like, hey, this is well, you got me. She always gets me. Candace does. Fet Life. No, they don't cover Fet Life. Oh, thank you, Devin. I'm praying for you too. Dear Lord, help her and Tim get the help that they need for the water and stuff. Because yeah, the house we used to live in, it had her mom had a concrete cistern put in on the outside external before she passed away. She died of cancer. My mother-in-law did. Yeah, everyone reacts to medications a different way. Yeah, gabapentin. Yeah, I'm not on it anymore. I didn't think it was doing anything. So I mean, at least it ain't nothing to do with the diabetic burn part. But he that my pump he done an ultrasound of my pump, checked the dye, and so he's took out what I was talking about earlier, this numbing agent Bifocaine. So right now my pump is straight fentanyl. It has no numbing agent mixed in it as far as my pain pump goes. But the reason I can tell the pain medication is doing more than it because he's got my pump so low. If it wasn't for the oil medication, I certainly wouldn't be here, you know, talking to you all. Trust me, to avoid the pain meds as much as possible. Yeah, I tried from when I first got hurt from 1999, and it was 2003 when I finally gave in when nothing else helped, like the physical therapy, epidural blocks done, blindly is what they call it. Those were done in Bardstown, Kentucky, and then the other epidural blocks that were done under fluoroscope or fluoroscopy were done in Louisville. It helped the first time. That was in 2001. They helped me for like 3 months, and then third month I started going back downhill, and he tried another round, and it didn't help. And that was before I got put on the pain pump and my pain pump trial. And there was a surgery before that. They didn't. They don't. None of the pain management doctors do it anymore. You can look it up too. It's an IDET procedure, IDET, interdiscal electrotherapy, also called spine cath, SPINECATH. And in Kentucky, you're awake on the operating table. It's an outpatient surgery. If you've never heard of it, they take a really long needle and they stop. Let me open my camera because I'm laying back. They take a really long needle and it goes into your disc. They took mine into my L4, L5, and it curves and they heat it up. And then the L5S1, they took the needle in me. Instead of curving, it went straight through that disc, hitting a nerve, made my leg jerk, and it hurt like a son of a gun. And they're not supposed to cut on you, use a scalpel or nothing. And he says, I need a scalpel, and I'm laying on my stomach, and I turn like my head, and I'm like, I thought you wasn't supposed to cut on me. He says, well, your L5S1 is worse than what the MRI showed. So he had to make a cut, which it's numb where he's cutting, and then went another direction, and then the needle curved. And I wore a back brace, and that was in June 2000. Oh, okay. It was after that epidural. So it was June 2002. I wore a back brace for 6 weeks. And then I even tried to take on the desk job. I tried again. Because I started feeling really good. I wasn't hurting no more. And where I done moving around, I tried to do a sit down desk job doing surveys. You had different jobs, like you call patients, like, how did your visit at so and so hospital go? But, but what hurt a lot of people on those questionnaires was they started asking people their income and asking people what race they was. You know, how these companies and marketing places want to know, how many white people or how many black people and Asians or whatever, and how much they're making, what area. I guess I don't know. I guess I mean, if you're trying to run a company and want to get somewhere where you're going to make money, like they're not going to put a Walmart in a town of 100. If that makes any sense. But yeah, you explaining the stories to the doctor, your background and all that. I'm surprised I remember half of it. Like, I had a gallbladder removed in 2009. No, 2009 was my second pain pump implant. Yeah, because 2016 was my third one. And then my fourth one was 2022. See, that's what I was hoping for, is that my medicine would do fine, that they didn't have to increase it. But yeah, I was only put on methadone by that primary care before they changed the laws and stuff. And I tried it. I was on it for like 2 weeks, and my wife said that I was being, not myself, or being mean, like argumentative, like being hateful, like nothing like saying like, go wash the dishes, you sandwich maker, or nothing like that. Like, I was like, what is this doing here? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's, aggravated. Like, why is the keys not on the left side instead of the right side? Not OCD. So we told the doctor, and then it wasn't introduced again until um, September 2022. And that doctor had me on oxycodone 10. This is the Florida one. Oxycodone 10 for a long time, and I barely took it, because where the pain pump was at, I was doing fine, but I had to stay in a wheelchair and not move around much because he wasn't listening to me. But then, close to 2022, after the fourth pain pump surgery, that's when he had it. That was oxycodone 15 with the methadone 10 milligram, and I had to break it in half. So I took a half one in the morning and a half one at night. And the oxycodone 15, they're like the little green pills. I had to take it 4 to 6 every 4 to 6 hours as needed, every 4 to 6 times a day as needed. And I did, and I took it like I was supposed to, because they give you urine tests to make sure that you're taking your medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, may I introduce to you Boot Body Cam. Welcome, welcome. I had to do that. Yeah, and he also has a channel too, if you want to check him out. Oh, Dr. Phil's got a channel too. Yeah, feel free to drop your links to your channels. And there's some people on one side of the fence that loves music and stuff, and the other side that loves, Jesus, and the other side loves, lifting people up. I went to a total of six to nine neurosurgeons. I'd have to really think hard. I know one in E Town, one in Bardstown. No, the first one was Bardstown, E Town, uh, Campbellsville, uh, Greene County, Greensburg, Jane Todd Hospital, it's called at that time. Before I applied for disability and for fighting workers' comp, they all supported me being in pain, but they said there's nothing surgically they could do. So the most recent neurosurgeon that I've seen, which would be the second time, but it's 10 years later, is the doctor that Elnegard. You can look him up. He when Christopher Reeves that played Superman, Dove said boo. That played Superman and he ended up paralyzed. Um, this doctor's located out of Somerset, and the story that Christopher Reeves flew him all the way to California, hoping that he could help him, with his back or something, which obviously he couldn't, and any other doctor couldn't, or he was stuck in a wheelchair. Well, that's who I seen the first time in, I believe it was 2011. No, if it's 10 years ago, they said it was 10 years ago, so it'd be about 2016. But the first visit, they were the lady, the physician assistant or whatever. They're like, couldn't believe, like I couldn't understand why I had a pain pump. Yet I come in and my wife pushed me in a wheelchair to hope that they could do some kind of surgery. And it was a horse accident. I didn't know that. And when I seen him recently, they did another MRI, and his physician assistant said, he's afraid to do the surgery because he's afraid, it might make it worse. And I'm like, I told the guys, like, it's already worse. I mean, I'm already going to pain management. I mean, it's already screwed up. I mean, what's it going to make any difference? I mean, if you paralyze me from the waist down and I don't feel nothing, I'll be happy. But yeah, they're afraid that they'll mess up something. I mean, something's messed up in there. They know there's a lot. I got a lot of pain areas in my back, but they ain't nothing they can do. Which my C5, they wanted to do surgery in Florida, but because that landlord done what they did, I wasn't going to didn't get to get no surgery. I have to focus on my back here because of the copays and just trying to be functional and trying to be a part of my family instead of laying in the bed and in pain while my family, you know, has to walk by me and Dad, you need anything and all that other stuff. And I about cried because he said, he's afraid to do any kind of surgery, afraid to make it worse. I'm like, it's already worse. I don't know what more you could do. Like I said, if I got paralyzed from that disc down, as long as I can move my upper body, then I can deal with my neck. I had epidurals done to my neck, but that was during when fighting the car insurance company. And they wanted to do surgery on my back because of the car accident. Car accident. Biospine wanted to do surgery, but they said it was a 50-50 chance. But that Morgan and Morgan wouldn't approve it because it was more than $50,000. They was the only place that wanted to, and it started with an L, and I can't think of it. And the doctor that talked to me, he's on billboards up and down through Tampa. David something. He's an African American doctor. But yeah, I'm like 50-50 chance. So yeah, if I had money and could go down there, I could probably get surgery within the next 3 months. But I don't have $50,000, and there's no way I can raise $50,000, which is going to be higher because it was in 2019. They told you the same thing, but finally got it done. At least took the nerve pain in my legs and got me back to work. Yeah, that's what I understand. I asked my pain doctor, I said, can you do another spine cath at least, you know, see if it would work again? But they refused to do it because it doesn't, it's not long term effective. It's only short term effective. But yeah, I begged him. I'm like, at least do that because it burns the nerves. But I don't understand how the nerves are, healed back if they, it's that needle's supposed to burn the nerves. So I don't know. Oh, you was in Canada? Yeah, I don't know. They say they got free health care or something down there, but look, some people complain. So I don't know if there's some good doctors there and stuff. And I've even asked my pain doctor if there's any like clinical, like where they're doing clinical runs or they need somebody that's in pain or to study, my middle son, we put him in a clinical study in Florida, and he was in it for like a couple of years. They paid for your gas. You got like a $50. They paid you like a $50 check each visit. It was like an experimental drug or whatever. Awesome, thank you, Dr. Phil. Good Apocalypse. Yeah, I apologize for uh, not trying. I'm not trying to be boring or nothing, and trying to explain the best that I can. I'm having to set my timer on my pain pump phone that I got. Yeah, my past pain pumps had like a little bitty handheld box, and you just hit a little black button. And now they got this phone that goes with it, and it has an app. I'm surprised no other phones can uh, connect to it because it's Bluetooth. Because that's crazy. Somebody had Bluetooth pick up on my pain pump and be like, oh, let me see, let me hit a couple buttons. And I don't think nobody can override it or nothing like that. I mean, they got it set where it's focused on just that phone for it. Because, yeah, they'd have a lot of lawsuits on their hands if somebody could access it on their phone and mess with it, or you could OD somebody. Yeah, apparently there was a story about a pain management doctor that they installed a brand new pump in a patient and they put the needle in to put medicine in. I don't know how they missed the hole, but they ended up rushing that patient to the ER. They was putting all, I don't know what kind of medicine it was, but they put all that medicine inside that person's body and missed the whole pump completely, the hole for the pump. I mean, they survived from the story I understood. But yeah, that's really scary. It's like, how can you miss a hole, but there's people that eat that can miss their mouth and the food fall off their spoon too. So I guess you could do that. I appreciate it. Yeah, right now it's manageable, but yeah, back back during the time like just before the 23rd and then the 23rd, 24th, I was just in and out of chat for a little bit. I was good enough. I could feel like say hi to a few people or something and might engage a little bit, and yeah, your pump could go adios. Yeah, but I done. Let's see what I don't understand when he done the ultrasound. Let me get my camera off a minute. When he done the ultrasound, say here's my phone, but it's like it looks like a stun gun, and they rubbed it over my pump over like a certain area. Let me see. Pull my britches up. But yeah, over like I'm not gonna pull my shirt up, but like somewhere over in this area of my pump, and took a picture with the ultrasound. And apparently the other nurses and stuff had never done this before. But I'm like, so is there any like babies inside there or something like that? And they go, no, there ain't no babies, and left about it. But they wrote down something, but didn't tell me whether there was a malfunction or not. So, but I've got as far as pain pump wise, I've got 90 days to figure how this is going to, this fentanyl just by itself, nothing, no numbing medicine in the pump or nothing. It's just by itself to see how it'll work. And if it don't work, they're going to switch me back to what I was on before. And actually, my pain doctors, even on YouTube, I didn't know, discussing pain pump, with other doctors and stuff, like those YouTube things, podcast or something like that. Because see, I seen him from 2010 to 2016, and then we moved to Florida in 2016, and then when we moved back, and I only had so many months left before I had to have my pump refilled, and the oral medications that I was on at that time from Florida, he went ahead and carry on with that treatment up until he's like, you're going to have to choose one, and you have to wait on the medication. So if I said, hey, go ahead and turn my pump off, I'll just go ahead and just do the oral meds, the one with like I said, that Florida doctor in Florida added the oxycodone 15 with the methadone, a half a pill 2 times a day. But the deal that happened in at the CVS when that hurricane hit, right, it was right before, it was in either, yeah, it was in 20, it was right before Christmas, I believe. That hurricane hit right under Tampa. Nobody, that CVS that was in the town I lived in, they couldn't get any medications or nothing for 2 weeks. So that 2 weeks was not a bit of fun whatsoever. So now when if you change medications, like, can you make sure that they have that medication, or can you make sure this? Because the pain treatment thing is way different than how they're doing it now. But I chose the pain pump because at that time I didn't know that those oral medications was keeping all the chest and stuff burning from my feet into my chest, or going from that to cold all the way into my chest, burning so bad. When I chose went ahead and just chose the pain pump, then that's when I started having god awful burning and everything on top of the pain. And then the pain would override the freaking burning. And I'm explaining this to my doctor each time that I see him. And he's like, clueless. I don't know. I don't know. Back in Florida, when I had a tooth pulled, they was going to put me on Tylenol 3. And I thought, well, I'll call my pain doctor, the office. I'm like, they prescribed me Tylenol 3, being I was on that oral medication. And they're like, no, 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 no. Do not fill that script. So I didn't. So I don't know. They just said it wouldn't, Tylenol 3 would not be a good idea on the oral meds I was on. I'm like, okay. And I told the dentist, no, I can't get this filled. And my pain doctor said that wouldn't be a good idea. Which luckily I didn't have any bad pain from my teeth pulled. I think we keep covering the same suggestions over and over again. At least the oxycodone is working for now. Yeah, pain pump ain't working too well. Hopefully it will kick in soon. Yeah, I just done a bolus, and the only time I've noticed it's at 5 a.m. I'll start feeling like numbness, and it's like, and it done it when it was turned up. It's like it seems like not bad needles or nothing. It's like something's clogged up, but it ain't, because they did a dye test on the tube that goes into my low back, into my spinal canal. And I've tried to explain that. How's it working if I have this feeling like it's stopped up, and it's like it gives you a flow, super flow medicine? It's like, oh my God, thank you, Jesus. Wow. And it'll let it for about an hour and a half, about an hour and 45 minutes. And then it might work a few more times. And the next times for the boluses, I won't feel nothing. But yeah, during my pain pump trial in Louisville, I believe it was Norton Jewish Hospital. I was there for a week. They didn't change my catheter. I didn't bathe for a week that time. That was in 2004. They didn't bathe me, do nothing with my catheter. They didn't change my blankets for real. Hopefully that they treated people a little bit better. And I had a bad spinal headache like 2 days after I was there that week at that hospital back at that time. I remember that. I even told my doctor about it, but it ain't like could do nothing about it. Luckily, I didn't get staph infection, but I had this little external device that that you roll with you to the bathroom or whatever. I had to go to do number two. It shows what 89 degrees. Wow, this thing came over. What? Hope I don't lose nobody. The side things come over. There it goes. It went away. I hit show. Yeah. What the world? This computer. Yeah, Tylenol 3 is an opioid mixed with Tylenol with Vicodin, and they want to make sure you don't actually. Yeah, that makes more sense. If you're already on other opioids, the state narcotics drugs management should have called that. Yeah, well, I didn't feel that stripped out, but I'm glad that I called. But the pain doctor that I go to, I call. They tell me to call my primary care. It's like, well, you're supposed to know. And before I went and seen the neurosurgeon, 10 years later, this one, because I seen like biospinal neurosurgeons, those neurosurgeons. What happened? Did my screen blank out? Look like my screen blank at the corner of my eye. But they just, I just don't understand it. I mean, I look on here and see people that talk about their pain pumps and stuff, and they're like, "Oh, it's doing really good." It did at first, but I'm stupid. I don't know what I'm talking about, and I just wish I could find like those clinical studies that want to study people. At least, you know, I'm hoping that it help if they have something like that. I can help people that's going through what I'm going through, so they can help them. With finding the culprit of the pain or fixing the culprit of the pain. I'm 50 freaking years old. It's took a lot of my life or whatever with view. Some of us been in a wheelchair. Some of us been in a lot of pain, and a lot of it. And some of it got to be a little bit with my family. Which on my Facebook, I didn't think I'd have make it like a little journal page, but it's like a little like scrapbook. You can see when I'm happy, and there's a few pictures I have on there where you can see I'm in a lot of pain. I'm on the couch, look like somebody hit me with a ball bat and knocked me out. I've got good 8 wonderful people in here watching, and I appreciate that very much. You have no idea. And I do appreciate it. And I do hope that something I say does help, or if you have a loved one, that's there's there's people facing having a pain pump implant and all this other stuff. Primary care is the central point of contact. He should see everything you have as far as prescription. If he's any good, you can always keep a list of all your medication and talk to the pharmacist. Yeah. The pharmacist over here is pretty cool. I couldn't afford my wife had enough to be able to get my medication, and that's when we didn't have, I mean, like I said, had to use where my son, he gets SSI and stuff. His come in early, so that's how we got to get the rental car for the week because we can't depend on anybody. We got to pay like the cash payday place, uh, and then you got other bills, and I don't even know how we're going to do with this electric bill because, like I said, we already had had help with what they call light heap or something like that. Hey James, it's good to see you. I appreciate you being in here, being so willing to try experimental treatments is a true testament to how much pain you're truly going through. Yeah, and that's what I keep asking, but he seems so clueless. And I've tried to search some stuff so far. I've not. I'm hitting dead ends, and then some places you have to travel, and I can't afford to travel. Like there's people in other countries that have like surgeries or malfunctions, facial or twins that can be separated. They'll fly them over to America or something like that. It's kind of hard to find. I mean, I guess you'd have to really like dig super deep to find a doctor that can say, "Hey, I know that your back situation. I've dealt with that. We'll be more than happy to help you. Have a life or whatever." But it's really hard to find people because I guess some people keep it on the down low because people takes advantage. I guess, but that's the only thing I can figure. If you people knows a lot of something that and they don't really need it and take advantage of it, but the people who really need it, they're the ones that get hurt. Yeah, the payday plays. Have you tried doing any payment plans instead of having to owe the whole amount every month? We pay the whole amount and then have to borrow back every month because we can't we have to have it back to I mean we're already short the landlord. We're gonna have to catch the landlord up, and then where the PCM on this van, uh, where the transmission runs to it or something, and the voltage or whatever stuff and then just we owe her uncle already the alternator and thought we was going to get to take the battery back, but the old battery had a bad cell, and this battery is completely dead, brand new battery. So I don't know if my wife's going to take it back and see if they can swap it. Where you still got so many days or a month or something like that. Hey, Sense of Wonder, good to see you. I meant to say hi to you on Avery's channel, but I had to go to sleep. But I seen you in there. Yeah, that's what we tried to do before we had that hiccup and before we had the landlord issues. We didn't know anything, and then like I said, it went downhill from there. And then borrowing from Tilt and borrowing from Grant, those apps, and having to pay, and they got fees. Then you have to turn around and pay it back. One, I did the Atlas, and apparently I didn't see something. I thought that they say if you don't get approved, they'll give you 1,000 and put 50. No, they took $9 or $8 and something out of my checking account last month, and I tried canceling, and finally they canceled it. But they got a freaking $9 and something out of my account. Audrey, I'm sorry, it's Audrey. I apologize, Sense of Wonder. I always thinking Avery. It's Audrey. Boy, it's the weather out here. Why I mispronounced it. It's so hot out here. I'm joking. I apologize for that. Maybe James worked at a good one, but I hear a lot of bad stories. Mr. Gary, it's good to see you too. It sounds like you're going through some rough times. I hope things improve quickly. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I mean, I've been on this part of YouTube for probably about 3 years because I didn't know nothing about that you could do your own channels. I thought you had to pay for it, and it was just 3 years ago. I'm like, well, I can load up videos. Oh, you can go live. You have to have 50, and went from there. Didn't know you could do all this, and you know, I jumped in there and didn't know my situation was going to be the way it was. But before our situation hit, I mean, I tried to be, like getting a membership here and there from people I thought, some that are cool and some that I thought was cool and turned out to be not super cool and saying horrible, mean things. Yeah, it does equal trouble. Yeah, we didn't know anything until that first landlord's like, I need to move my dog. She has a brain injury also, and she's the one that got my son going into Mormon. But if it hadn't been for them to help us move, uh, the one place that we was at, the one that had the ductwork problem, which I did a short on it and stuff, and the electric bill totaling for 2 months just being there, like over $1,000. Only had help with the one because you're only allowed to help once every 6 months or something. And they jumped in there and helped. So I really don't. I mean, they could have been like, there's this one YouTuber. He's like, you know, nice to you at first, and then if you say something out of the way, I mean, you're the biggest dog in the world. If they were like him and didn't help, we'd be in a world of hurt. But they jumped in there, helped move the refrigerator and the furniture and everything, and I thanked them. And so I mean, I may not agree with their beliefs, but I'm not going to put them down. We allow our son to go. He gets to play the piano. He he really loves serving the Lord. So I mean, somebody wants if he wants to serve the Lord, not going to stop him, as long as he's not putting anything like dogs on an altar and sacrificing them to the Lord. Back in the old days, and he don't none of that crazy stuff. Then we're good. Which that's a joke about that. I don't think they do none of that stuff. We used to have a neighbor that was Jehovah Witness, and she got hit by a vehicle, and I'd go in my wheelchair over to her house to check on her, and she told her they called it congregation. You don't call it a church. She used to get mad about that, and she's like, my neighbors, they ain't even Jehovah Witness, and they treat me better than the congregation does. She's still alive, so and she smokes weed. For medical, but the church or the congregation don't know it. I'm not going to tell on her. I just let her live her life. She's been nothing but nice to us, and she didn't try to force us to go to her church or nothing. Yeah, Dr. Philly's places won't ever tell you about it, but it's not in the fine print. They do need to comply with FDCPA regulations in an extent, but they're so predatory, it's unethical. They designed to trap people in a will of death. It is. But yeah, when you're desperate and stuff and trying to feed your family and stuff, and then when you do paperwork, the food stamp office says you pay too much in rent, you don't qualify for EBT. What? We're about to be on the street. We lived in a tent when we first had to move from Florida because we had some family up here. So we lived in a tent for 3 days and in a tool shed for two, and that was in May, June of 2023, the end of May, beginning of June. What money that the church sent on one of those prepaid cards and stuff, there was enough to get like a little air up bed and stuff for our kids, and me and my wife had like the individual blow up beds. And then we started building up, and then we were just hurting a little bit and then got hit. But yeah, I wasn't asking for help or nothing, as long as, you know, I've been on this side of YouTube and I'd see people need help or something like that. And I'd try to help a little bit what I could before our situation got hit in our circumstances. Yeah, in Florida, if you ask for help in churches, if you don't go to their church, they don't help you, and they'll tell you that to your face. The ones that my wife has been to ask for help, because my wife we was trying to find every way, like getting help with a low income apartment and all that to try to keep from having to sleep in her vehicle, and so no wonder there's so many homeless people. But yeah, we couldn't even get any help with the emergency apartment or nothing. Yeah, and if I'm going to talk about being nice to people and stuff, I even though those churches were not nice, I'm still going to think about them and hope that things go well for them. Even though humanly and deep inside, it's like, man, I hope they stub their toe on a rock. But if I think like that, then I don't. Maybe nothing good will come my way if I have that attitude towards the ugliness. There's once I did slip over a dude that usually trolls people, brought up my name, and I just went off. I was like, "Hey, you bitch, my situation's real. If you want to see, you can come over here." And then I realized, oh crap, I should have never said that to that person because from the background and a few videos, that was not a good idea. I have children, and I don't think it'd be a good idea to invite that person. Invite somebody that's not that seems to be a child enthusiast. But it wouldn't matter. My kids would kick them in the balls if they tried to make any moves. My daughter kicked a boy in the balls at school where he was picking in Florida. This boy is picking on my middle son, and she nailed him right in the balls. They yell and scream at each other, act like they hate each other, but if somebody picks on one of them, buddy, they take up for each other. But it's okay for them to hit each other in the arm or yell and scream, but don't nobody else do it. You ever try to get a job at your church during doing social media setup, YouTube channel, bro? See, I can't do that. When I was in Florida, I was doing that because that medication was a combination with the pain pump. I had some downtime, but it usually would let up. But yeah, I can't even do that now, and it wouldn't matter because we don't have a vehicle. We don't know. We only get to keep this one till Thursday, and trying to get my wife to her work because she can only work up to 30 hours, and that's what little bit of extra income we got, and it still ain't getting us ahead. And we got a 16-year-old, 14-year-old, 24-year-old, and teenagers eat a lot. But yeah, I'm not even going in the churches or nothing like that because the medicine helps as long as I'm not. I mean, right now, as long as I'm not moving around too much, because I tried that last month just to put dishes in the dishwasher and when we have food, I have to make sure it's quick and easy because if I stand too long, it starts hurting, and then I'm hurting way before it's time for my next medication time, and I can't afford to take ahead of time or end up short, and then I'm in a world of hurt until I get my prescription filled again, and that's what's sad. Now they could up it to 4. It was 4 at one time, but he would up my pump, and I'm trying to tell him it doesn't do any good when I'm not feeling the boluses or the medicine. I feel the oral medication better, way better than as far as feeling any little bit of relief or some relief than I do with the pain pump. I've never had the other 3 pain pumps do that before. It was great to see you. I appreciate you coming in here and and thank you for sending positive vibes. I really need it. I appreciate it. But yeah, just to sit out here for a few or whatever, but then trying to do that at a church, yeah, it wouldn't last too long because until they can strengthen up my medicine for that. That's what makes me upset is that my hands are tied. That's why I can go through. I just go on here on YouTube, get on, do a few little lives or something, share my story. Anybody want to help, type of deal. But I do it on my channel. I don't go ask none of the other channels like, hey, can you do this? Because a lot of the times they don't understand your situation, and then they label you as, oh my God, here he's in the chat. He's gonna ask for more help. Oh my God. Those kids are smart enough to set up cameras. You can manage social media from home. It would be a nice service for disabled members. Yeah, I would like to do something like that, but what I got is what I got right now, and then I'm having to work around my pain instead of a set schedule, and that's what sucks. Yeah, when things get, it'd be nice to hit the lottery or one of our friends or something. Because if we hit the lottery, we always said if we ever hit the lottery, people that ever helped us or something like that, and they're in need, we would help. If we hit like a big like $1 million or something, think of all the people that helped us and repay them. But those are dreams, though, or get picked out of a hat or something. Because yeah, there's just been people that's prayed, people that's tried to do what they can, and it'd be nice to talk to the millionaire or a billionaire or something like, hey, be able to have have an opportunity to be able to see better doctors. That would be super cool. And then if the and ever have that same opportunity, try to do the same for other people. If I could able to find the best doctors that can fix my situation would be great. Being at these other doctors, like, I bet you it's because they don't get enough money. That's what I think. Because you see them do back surgeries, but I don't know what type of back issues they have that they can have a simple surgery will fix it. But they act like simple no whatever they do that they're afraid that I'll be in pain, that they know I'm in pain and they support that I'm in pain. That's good on paper. Huh. Then you had to fill out I had to fill out my that Social Security sends out, disability sends out so many years to make sure you're disabled, even though the prior one, you tell them I'm on a pain pump. When there's I don't, my pain, when my pain comes back, this and this and this, I have to rely on this. When my pain comes back, blah blah blah, you can't do this, lift a gallon of milk. And I mean, it's like back in school handwriting a freaking one of those papers that you got to turn in to grade or something. But yeah, back like I said, 2023, and then like I could got to play drums again. For a little bit. I mean, at least like I said, my kids got to see me play drums, but I wish that pain relief and that the treatment that doctor had put me on. I think when they switched me to fentanyl is what didn't help matters or something. I wanted him to talk to me about it, but he didn't. I come in for a pump refill, and he's like, "We're putting fentanyl in." Oh Lord, I don't know about starting no nonprofit. My wife would have to be in charge of that because I don't know if like in the next 5 hours if I'm going to be functional because like I said, I'm trying not to move too much just so I can make it through the month to see my doctor because especially we can't rely on a rental car, but I have to pay him every time if something messes up or or whatever. You have to pay your copay the $25 before he'll see you. And they even have it on the front windows now. Yeah, when I was hurting one of the times, we had $50 that we was going to use for food, and they wouldn't let me pay the 25 later. I had no balance at the doctor or nothing. Oh, we can't see you unless you pay your copay. But then I've overheard somebody go to the window and they're like, "Oh, you're past due payment. I think $40 or something." Well, how was that if they're supposed to pay it up front? And I guess sometimes their insurance, I don't guess, uh, shows the copay at that time, so I can't say for sure. But that still makes me mad that I'm like, so if it malfunctions or if I fall and hit something sharp and bust my pump, you're not going to see me. Which you'd have to go to the ER if your pump got busted, from what I understand. I heard there was a story of a guy that was a lineman or something like that works on, climbs up the pole, works on transformers and stuff. Apparently, he had a pain pump. That's the story, and he fell and landed on his pump. I don't know if he landed on the concrete. He must have been skinny or something. I don't know, but it busted, and the medicine went through his body, and he died instantly. That's what I was told. So I hope that don't ever happen. I mean, I don't want to die or nothing like that, but yeah, the pain. I never thought pain could take you to a dark place, and it can. Stubbing your toe, I can handle. My neck pain, I'm handling. Dealing with the code before this back injury is like really done me in. And I don't go on here and try to compare myself to anybody back or nothing like, well, I can't do this or you can't do that. It's like trying to fight to get a handicap parking at Walmart. But yeah, I never was brought up in and out of hospitals. Huh. Oh, I have a copay. I only met it. It's in Kentucky. I think they have two levels of Medicaid, and the Medicaid I don't qualify for. Why? No, that Medicaid makes my copay $25. In Florida, I had no copays, nothing. But here in Kentucky, I got the Medicaid covers it where I don't have to pay no more than the $25 is what they personally told me too. Can you double dip on Medicaid? And yeah, I've never heard of that before. Double dip. Oh, I know they tell us that we don't get EBT, but we still get the medical coverage where our copays are low. Then you got, then also you got your other bill, car insurance. We the Wi-Fi is. I mean, your kids go to school and stuff, and when they have snow, I mean, you got to have the Wi-Fi, and you turn it off and turn it back, get service again. You're still paying out the butt. So we we end up switching the spectrum. It's cheaper than what we had, so our kids can have Wi-Fi with if they with their schooling, and then during the summer, if they be able to do things or whatever, and enjoy a little bit. But we don't have like Disney, all that other stuff, because like we told them, we're trying to get through, or they ain't got to worry about no TV. Which my daughter has stayed with her aunt for a few days to help with, I guess, my baby nephew, which would be her baby first cousin, which that helped a little bit. I've got Medicare, and well, I have Medicare, which gives me well care. So I don't have Humana. I have the well care insurance, and then I have whatever for dental. But I ain't even went to the dentist, and I ain't even went to the eye doctor. I've done missed my whole year because of this pain management. Can't tolerate sitting there for them to wait to do my eye, to do this, put the dime or the whatever stuff to your eyes. I done good to sit in the pain doctor when I go, and like hoping he listens. Some states Medicaid, Medicare medication still has a copay. Yet my medication, I think metformin it covers 100% of, but some of it I know is $4.90 each. Each one where it doesn't cover my oral pain medications, $4.90 on that. My Lyrica is $4.90. I think my fenofibrate's $4.90. I think the metformin's covered, and I think some diabetes stuff are covered where I got type 2 diabetes. Desmond, I had to raise up, look through my bifocals. I have VA, so I don't know about Medicare and Medicaid. WellCare is just the plan administration. I know you can change that during open enrollment and other Pacific times. Yeah, I'm staying with WellCare. I know in Florida, United Healthcare, the pain doctor when I was in Florida said that not to switch to them because a lot of the pain pump patients that were under that insurance they weren't the doctors weren't getting paid, and they had to keep billing and billing and billing. That was before that guy was tracked down or whatever. That was like 3 or 4 years. So yeah, that's a good thing I never switched to that because I didn't know they were giving doctors problems. I had I've had Humana before, but that was in 2000. So I got it after I got denied twice. I got approved the third try, and that was in 2001. Yeah, 2000. Yeah, 2001. I got approved through Social Security after I was disabled for 6 months. Yeah, I had to hire an attorney. I had one attorney out of Louisville, and he. Hold on. Oh, my camera's not on. Yeah, somebody's knocking at the door. Camera's turned off. What'd you want? Hello? Maybe the dog is hitting the tail against the thing. It looks sound like a knock, like. So maybe the dog was wagging the tail. But yeah, anyway, I was having to pay for my medications at that time. When I first started seeing my first doctor, I was put on Dilaudid orally. It took, and my disability check at that time was like 500 something a month, and it was like 200 some dollars for I think 90-day supply a month. I can't remember. I just knew I posted. I took it 3 times a day. It was 8 milligram Dilaudid orally during that time period, and I had to pay 200 some dollars, almost uh, half of my check. I'm having to really think hard, and then Humana wasn't doing nothing. I presented my card to them. That's why I never went back to Humana. I still have that old card somewhere from back then. But we had to switch my son to it recently because the place where he's supposed to be getting counseling and for his medication with his autism and all that other stuff, uh, they weren't getting an appointment. My wife had to keep calling and calling and calling, and they wouldn't put him in an appointment. So I forget what the name of this other place is, but they take Humana, so I had to switch him to Humana. And they asked me I wanted to switch. I said nope. You have WorldCare Classic. I have the HMO or something like that. Medicare. I meant WellCare. And then you have the dentist. Dentists suck over here. I got 2 cavities that I've been praying they don't get no worse. I've had them for. I've had them since Florida. I've got partials. I can't even find it that my insurance actually that covered them down there. Didn't cost me a dime. But if you get prescription glasses and you want to add like no scratch and stuff, that comes out of your pocket. Your insurance only carries so much. If you get the cheapest glasses that they offer at an eye place, maybe if it ain't over the amount, then you can get the no scratch lens or whatever. And then the lens that shade or whatever, like in the sun where they turn into sunglasses. Some people have to have them kind of glasses. Yeah, was it? Yeah, when we first moved to Florida, my copay was like $2 something for my medication, and then all of a sudden, I had no more no copays. Like after about one or 2 years when we were down there. But here it's $4.90 for me. ER is $215 a visit. So yeah, I'm like when I'm laying in bed, and I mean you can't think or nothing. I mean you're just writhing in pain. The thing that does come to my brain is like I really need to go to the ER, but they don't know what to do. Usually, if you go there, they just look at you. Oh, your blood pressure's high. You're in pain. It reflects because you're in pain, and then send you home. So that happened to me in Florida at one of these rinky in Hernando County, Florida. One of these rinky dink. I forget the hospital, whatever the name of it is. The dude was stupid. I had my pump replacement. The area was puffed up. I couldn't sleep for nothing. It was like an air bubble that went up in my head. Like if anybody's ever had shoulder surgery, like, and then air gets under your skin, and it takes a while for the air to go through your body or something. That was the worst 2 weeks that I ever had. I was calling Medtronic, the actual company, like, what's going on? Why am I going? Is there a problem? Asking my doctor, the pain doctor, when he looks at it again, that's just the way you did. That's how it's supposed to heal. I don't ever remember it healing like that. But probably didn't help matters that I was on double antibiotics because after the third pain pump, I had teeth pulled before I had my surgery the next day. And then the fourth one, I had teeth pulled before I had my fourth pump replacement the next day because they were hurting. See, I also, before they done my third pain pump, I had to get a stress test done and stuff. And where obviously, I can't jog and get my heart rate up. They put this medicine in you, and I was suffering a bad cavity that it eased up after it started swelling. It started abscessing, and the pain went away. But before it did, I mean, I was almost done with my stress test. But yeah, they injected the stuff, and my heart started beating fast, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But they okayed it that my heart could handle that third surgery. All right, Deb. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Dr. Phil says, I know quarterback Joe Namath gets rides to his medical appointment. I'm surprised you can't get that with the wheelchair. I'd be surprised if they don't have a special transport available. Well, from what I understand, that I can call, but I didn't. Where the day fell and stuff, where I had to get to my pain doctor the 23rd of how many days ago? Six, I believe, 6 days ago. They had to have a 72-hour notice, and that landed on the van messed up, I think, on a Friday evening. Well, thank you, Logan. So we're hoping we can get this fixed, but oh man, it's gonna be rough money wise for real. Having to put out even more on this vehicle. Her uncle is upset. We told him it'd probably be the end of the month that we would try to give him extra. She was only able to give him $45 last week, and apparently he's hard of hearing. I mean, we told him numerous times, and he's like, "Well, I thought I was going to get more than this." Well, we didn't have the money to have it replaced, and he offered to do it. And my wife at least tried to give him some money that we couldn't really give out. And she tried to take the battery back, but that old battery had a bad cell and went charging. And we told him, we're going to my wife's going to try to take the battery back, and then find out it was a bad cell and try to explain to him, well, I guess we have to keep this battery, which it don't matter now because it's drained. It won't even turn over. And originally, if we did it through the dealership, it's $1,500, not included in having it programmed. So my wife, I believe, found it cheaper, like for $200 or $300 a PCM, and it don't have to be done at the dealership. The dealership said that they could somebody that specializes in programming it can program it, and it'd be cheaper than that. But yeah, the dealership's like, wow, that's really cheap for a PCM. Are you sure yeah, that's what it shows. That it's like $200-$300 for one on I think Amazon or something. My wife looked up, but it's got to get here. Then it has to be programmed because if you put it in, and it has to have the last four numbers of the VIN. If you put it in and don't have it programmed, even if it's pre-programmed, I've watched YouTube about it. They said that somebody done that and their vehicle wouldn't even start. The wipers come on or something, but it wouldn't start. And then they had it programmed, and they took the four of the last VIN, they put it in, programmed it, whatever, then put it in the van and their van, and it fired right up. Oh, Isaiah's in here. Hi, Isaiah. I told him about your sister kicking a boy in the nads that was bothering you when we lived in Florida. That's a really good sister. If some of y'all were here, I was talking about Ninja Turtles. That was a funny example that I gave. Like, you can't control people that you're friends with. Like, if they have a different belief or something, I mean, that's them. I mean, if your friend is like making fun of, your mom after they passed away or something, I mean, that wouldn't be cool. Like, why are you making fun of my mom, man? Or if they're making fun of your friend's mom. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, what if Rabbit, somebody didn't like his Ninja Turtle collection, and you're friends with him, and then your other friends like, I don't like it, and then Rabbit don't like them. That don't mean you can't control what they think, but you still love them and just like can't make them get along, but act civil. But oh my gosh, this is that situation's gone up the hill and down into a gully. You try to throw a ladder down on that situation, it ain't long enough. You're going to have to add more rope to it or something to get that ladder down there. My son came back out and said hi.
Hi.
We got good 5 people watching and probably yawning.
Yawn.
Yeah, I didn't think my throat's a little sore. I didn't think I talked that much.
Do you need water?
I guess I did talk that much. Yeah, I looked on to see if anybody was on and stuff, but I didn't really see anybody on. So I was like, well, I'll go live and share a little bit and still say my family's still open for any kind of help. That just would be nice to meet somebody that'd be like, hey man, here's what we'll do. Because they ain't gonna do no debt consolidation because with everything going on, I made a small payment to somebody that helped. I'm like, this is the best I can do to show I'm keeping my word. And they're like, you don't have to explain your whole situation. And I understand. I'm like, well, I asked for your help, and I want to let you know that I'm trying to make an effort. They've been really nice. It's hard to find like the good neighbor thing, love your neighbor, help your neighbor, and yeah, when I even put on there like, you know, people can come out and see the situation, but when you do that, you don't know how many, put your address out there. You don't know how many weirdos are going to show up. Like if it was like Giggles or Dr. Phil or Dove or something, or even Nikki or Cliff or any of them. I mean, I can trust them. I would think that they're not going to try to steal, my jumper cables or my refrigerator in the house.
And there's some people that could be like, oh, look, he just leaked his address.
No, that is if I put my address
Yeah.
out. I'm not going to put my address
I
out
know.
like that.
Saying.
I did for Kaiser for the T-shirts. Never did get him, but he sent a pair of panties to the Tiffany, the for public safety that got the guy. His name is Chris Ryder, and yeah, he sent her a pair of panties, but in turn they sent DoorDash. which I've never done that. No matter how mad I got mad at somebody, there's been many times I've ate some poop sandwiches. Yeah, we used to keep up with that. Have you seen the price of copper? Are you sure? Oh, is it going up?
What?
Dr. Phil Apocalypse says that, have you seen the price of copper? Are you sure you would trust me around your jumper cable? No, I haven't. I think clean copper was what, 70 cents a pound or something, or a dollar or something. I haven't checked for a while because we ain't run into anything like that. We've been crushed. My son's been crushing cans. Oh, you don't know? You're joking. I'm like, I know the highest it's been before is like $1.70 clean copper. Then you got number two.
Canes per pound right now in Kentucky.
You got number two. Then you got dirty aluminum. Dirty aluminum, if you've got metal screws in it, you don't get as much for the aluminum. So a lot of people take the metal out of it, and all of it they can, to get a higher price on the aluminum, like aluminum doors. But yeah, I thought you knew what you was talking about. I was like, wow, that's a good conversation.
It's 40 cents per pound, but
For what?
Between 40 cents per pound and 65 cents per pound for aluminum cans right now.
Can you hear him real good, Logan?
But while we're on the copper subject, how much is copper per pound in Kentucky right now?
That's what you're supposed to be looking up. He said between 40 cents and something, but now he's looking in Kentucky, which I thought he was in the first place.
$3. It's between $3 and $4.50 per pound.
For what?
Copper.
What kind of copper?
It just says scrap copper.
Yeah, but
your general scrap.
Your general scrap copper, he says, is between
$3 and $4.50 per pound.
$3.40 per pound.
No, just $3, and the copper.
Just $3
and
per pound. So in Kentucky scrapyards, your current payout for scrap copper generally ranges between $3 and $4.50 per pound, depending heavily on the specific grade and quality of the metal. Meanwhile, the raw global commodity spot price for pure copper is trading at $6.17 per pound. That'd been nice to know that when we had it back then.
We might want to hide those jumper cables.
That would be under $20. Don't be coming up on my stream acting silly, man. This is a very important stream.
Number 2, barite copper.
Oh yeah, barite.
Is between $3.25
between $3.25
and $4.50.
and $4.50.
Your tubing copper is between $3.05 and $4.
Between $3.05. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And $4.40. Okay, well.
And your number 2 tubing copper is between $2.97 and $4.20. Your insulated copper wire is between $1.30 and $2.80.
Yeah, if we don't find anything, doesn't he take those kids scrapping when you get your van running, learn them something? Yeah, they know ballasts. You have to bang them things with a freaking hammer to break that out and get all the copper out of it that's wound in there. Your ballasts, like in signs and light fixtures, those are a pain in the butt. There's a guy that does YouTube. It just does it like it's nothing.
Right now, payouts just in Somerset is $3.32 for number 2.
Okay, but the whole thing of it is they're like $3 and something. I mean, We already went through some of the list. Next thing you're gonna say, hey, you can probably do OF and you get this much for a membership. You can charge and only farts. Being I'm 50, I'm an old fart. Welcome to my only farts page, where you get to see everything from farting to burping. Let's do the crippled walk. Man, I should have got a throat lodgings.
You want a water?
No, I need a throat lodgings.
Where are they?
In Mom's top drawer, next to her dot toy. It's a joke. No, it's a joke, y'all. It's a joke. I promise. I ain't gonna kink shame or whatever like other people say, but that was literally a joke. Yeah, I didn't realize talking so much would make your throat sore a little bit. That's odd. I've not fell on I've not fell on anything long or nothing. Like Killamilla plays. I walked and I fell on something inappropriate. Oh my gosh, his theme song just hit my head. Hello, Earthlings. Da, 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 back. Da, da, da. I killed a puppy, but I cuddled it first. I don't think it's something. Right here, right now, I'm going to show you how. I don't give a bleep what you're about. I don't want to get demonetized. I ain't even monetized. Oh my gosh, his song stuck in my head. That one part gets me. I analyzed the puppy, but I cuddled it first. Like, what? Why is that in the lyrics, man?
Poor puppy.
We need to talk.
Poor little doggy.
Dr. Phil Apocalypse says, have the kids run down leads on Offer Up where people will give away free stuff, old aluminum rims, or like, this is Kentucky. They steal this stuff down here. We'd be lucky to find anything like that on Offer Up. We don't even use Offer Up. We got Marketplace.
Our luck is we go to like Walmart or something and come back, and then our AC's copper's been ripped out.
Nobody's touched this AC unit.
I'm talking about.
No, I'll chase him in a wheelchair. Like I'll I'll get far in it. Damn, you guys, slow down! Can't catch up. It only goes 4 miles an hour.
Dang it! I should have asked the Spectrum if we could have kept the old copper line.
Yeah, there's places I think are being built where they're stripping out, or either building or they're stripping out, renovating, and it's hard to find those places. And trying to find somebody on the site like, hey, can we go through your dumpster? Which I can't because of my disability. I mean, my kids could.
You used to.
Well, my pain management was better back when we was living up northern Kentucky. That first pain doctor, I used to could get into the dumpster, and there was a McDonald's bag. Somebody threw away, and there was a $5 bill in there. I guess somebody forgot their change in it. And then in the vacuum, we had permission to go through the vacuums, and somebody had like a 14 karat gold necklace, and it brought like $90. But yeah, the other kids are older. They're trying to help out, but our van's broke down, and we only got, and then we got to watch our gas with this rental vehicle, and we ain't gonna be have it long trying to do what we can. That shows 0 people watching.
Oh wow!
That's how entertaining I am. But yeah, I mean, I, you know, I like for it to be strictly whatever, but yeah. But I looked at other channels that have like wheelchair dad and them, and they're asking for help for like a motorized wheelchair van or something. I'm not sure if they got it or not yet. Yeah, legal side hustle. Well, I'm probably going to have to end it here because I got this lodgings and see if it helps with my throat any. But I appreciate y'all being here. You gonna say bye to everybody?
Bye, guys.
I turned the camera on. It's this way.
Oh, bye, guys.
They can't see. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Phil, for being here. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good week. I'll try to be, if I come on again, it might be tomorrow, maybe. It just depends. Dr. Phil said, take care, everyone.
We will.
Have a good one. Yeah, my throat's getting sore.